Hi, my name is Joyce Lewis, and this is my 4-year-old son, Jack. I recently found out that my husband, Charles Jackson Lewis, is having an affair with his coworker. I had a feeling that he was having an affair, but I didn't have any proof that this was happening until last month. Last month, I noticed that he was acting really different. So I decided that I was going to check his phone after he went on his third business trip of the month, which is really weird for him. So when he wasn't around, I went to his work phone and I opened it up and I saw text messages from his coworker, and that alone was just enough proof to say that he was cheating. So I confronted Charles, and it ended up being, a big argument until I said, okay, let me show you my proof. And once I did that, he said, okay, fine, yeah, I'm cheating. And I honestly could not believe it. I was so in shock from the fact that he would do that to me. I mean, I'm still in shock. We always had one rule, and that rule was that we would not cheat. And I guess that we would just always be honest with each other. He grew up in a home where his parents lived together but were actually separated, and it was a rough upbringing for him. There was constant fighting in the home, and I grew up in a home where my mom stayed with my dad, and my dad had cheated on my mom, and my mom stayed because she wanted to do this for the sake of her family. She put her family first above herself, and unfortunately, I saw my mom live a very depressed life. And you know what? It was, she just didn't have, I don't know, she just seemed so depressed all the time. And so I'm just so upset that, my husband did this knowing like what it was, what I went through and what I saw. And I am just determined to not have the same thing happen with my son. I do not want him to see me be upset and depressed. I will not do that. I just can't. I mean, I really can't do that. And, I am really heartbroken over this infidelity, but I'm going to, I left him, and I said to him, you know what, I'm not going to be staying with you. You know how I feel about this. The day that I found out that he cheated, I actually told him to get all of his stuff and to leave the house. And he did. And I told him, you know what? The next thing will be me giving you papers because I'm filing for divorce. And since then, Charles seems to be just adjusting like very well to the news. He doesn't live with us. He lives with his coworker girlfriend. And he's not one time called to check on Jack to see how Jack is holding up about all of this. I thought that, after being with somebody for nearly, 10 years, that he would at least try to reconcile with me and at least say sorry for what he's done. And he's just really seemingly to be content. And he seems happy with his new life and his new girlfriend. Me, on the other hand, I am not very happy in the moment. I'm my life is really just, it's stressed out. I just never thought that this would happen for Jack. I never wanted this to happen for my son. The same kind of thing that happened with my family. The last 4 years, Jack grew up in what I thought was a happy home. And, he always had his two parents home, tucking him in bed at night and giving him, reading him stories, bedtime stories, and having family dinners and having things that really I thought mattered. He's always had both his mommy and daddy at home with him. And now he's just has his mommy, and he's noticing the difference. He's asking me questions all the time about his dad, and I'm just like, I'm so fed up, and I feel like I've told him, your dad's not here right now. I don't know when he's coming back. I don't know when you're going to see him. Honestly, like, your dad is not a really great person. He is the one who decided, he's the one that decided to leave us. Honestly, your dad is like the devil. He does not care right now. And that's what, it's so frustrating. Like, he's deciding to live with this witch of a lady who knew that he had a child at home, and she, joined this affair, and she even knew who I was, and it's just so upsetting. And so, it's just a lot of change happening for Jack, and he's been asking questions, and one of the biggest changes coming is the fact that we're going to have to move now. It's just hard because I can't afford my mortgage by myself on just my salary alone. Before Jack's dad decided to mess everything up for this family, we were able to comfortably live financially. We were in a great place. Of course, it took both of our incomes, but we felt very comfortable and could just basically take Jack wherever we wanted, go on vacation, go out to eat. And obviously, going from that to going now to just one income is a big difference. And I'm really concerned that I'm not going to be able to, I know I can provide it for him, but I know he's going to notice the difference, and that makes me so upset. So I've been telling him lately, like, we're going to go on an adventure, and and I told him, we got a new place, and you can paint it, and you can make it your own new place, and what color do you want to have this new bedroom of yours, and things like that, just to make him feel more comfortable. And he hasn't been able to really sleep. He keeps waking up in the middle of the night, and I think it's because he notices the difference that his dad is just not around. And I don't know, I'm worried that he will, maybe blame the divorce on himself, or just take this really hard. And so I'm trying as best that I can, to make sure that he doesn't feel this as much as. Honestly, at this point, I feel like if Jack doesn't see his dad again, then I don't really care, because I know that we'll be okay, and I know that my son is going to be taken care of at the end of the day. And it's not going to be the same as what it used to be with his father and I. But at the end of the day, Jack will always be first. And that's the number one thing I want him to know. The other thing that I've been considering, and I don't know how to go about this, but basically is changing Jack's name, because, my son is named after his father. At this point, his father isn't showing any interest of continuing a relationship with his son, and I'm thinking, like, really, why does my son have to even have his dad's, name anymore at this point? I don't know. I just feel like Charles doesn't really deserve Jack to have his name at this point. And I haven't really talked to Jack about it or anything, but I am considering changing both of our names to my maiden name. And it's really, really tough. And I hope, Jack, I really hope that he doesn't grow up to be like his father. And I hope that by staying around me and my family, and having good influences, that he will steer clear from the genes that he has within him, and that he will, continue to be a great kid that he is being right now. And I hope, I can be a mom that will give him everything that he does need and deserve. One thing I was also considering is looking into some after school care. I know he's in pre-K 4, but now that, it is fully my responsibility, I still have some work that I do when I get home, and I'm hoping that maybe like 1 to 2 days a week I can hire somebody to watch him, just so I can get that additional income going. And then from there, hopefully I can make a transition to get all my work and gigs done in the daytime when he's gone at school. So I also want to make sure that Jack is still having some play dates and things like that with some kids that are actually going to be in our apartment building. I was a little bit worried because, we are moving from the house that he actually had a couple little neighbor friends, and now we don't know anyone. So I did meet one person in my new building, and she has a kid around Jack's age. So I am excited to have that also, but it's still not going to be the same as the neighborhood that he grew up in. So yeah, I'm kind of worried about that, but I'm not sure yet what other additional services might be available as a single mom. My other main concern is that we were both on my husband's insurance, and so now I'm also thinking about that and how does that work. My job is a new startup company, and so it's a small company with only like less than 30 people, meaning they don't provide health insurance. So I'm hoping that I can make sure that Jack has insurance through his dad's plan still with the child support, and now I have to find something. So that's another thing that I've been stressing out and worrying about. But one of my friends knows a lot about this. She recently went through a divorce, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to talk with her. I'm just hoping to get the support that I need and able to get myself through this divorce, and just so that I can provide Jack and I stability, income-wise, and also just emotionally. I want to move past this now. As hard as it is for me, and I'm still in shock, I just want to make sure that my family is taken care of. And that's, when I say family, I mean my son and I. So that's everything that I've really been going through lately. And it's been tough, but I know that my son and I are going to get through it.